Hello, this is TGC Requiem. We're here with some modern elves. Um, if you enjoy the content and you want to have some say in the deck that I play, feel free to follow me. Bottom right hand corner here, we have my Twitter handle at TGC Requiem. Tonight's deck was chosen by a Twitter poll. I'll probably do that every other week. So if you're interested in having some say in what I record, feel free to give me a follow. Here we are on the play. This is an okay hand, not particularly great, but we do have some powerful cards. We're okay keeping this, certainly not going to throw it back. Actually doing a competitive league tonight. Normally I stick to friendly leagues just because I like to roll my points over and over and over. Excuse me. But I feel like Elves is fairly well placed. In the format, and so I wanted to give it a shot on the competitive front. So Razorverge Thicket into Birds of Paradise seems like we're in pretty good shape to actually just run out the Archdruid here. I'm thinking we're probably running against like a Kiki Chord deck, something like that. Usually we should be faster than those. Maybe like Bant, like Nightfall or something. Oh, okay, so this is actually just straight Abzan Company. So we're gonna play out the cavern, naming elves. We definitely want to attack in with the Mystic. I'm just trying to think through the sequencing here. I should actually be able to... We're actually going to be able to go Dwynen's Elite, Archdruid attack with just the Mystic. I'm just going to have to hope that our opponent doesn't have the combo this turn. They can turn 3, and if they have that draw, there's just not a whole lot we're doing to beat that. So you don't see a whole lot of Abzan Company on MTGO just because it's very clicky and almost impossible to play. You can't infinite scry like you would in paper. Um, so actually pretty interesting to see it on here. So next turn we're going to be able to attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 21, 22, 23 damage, ignoring what we draw. We actually have not infinite mana, but you know, we've got what, 7 creatures, so we got 14, 15, 16, 17. 18 mana available. Should we draw like a Chord, we're going to be able to Azuri Overrun. Pretty much do whatever we want next turn, so long as we don't lose this turn. My opponent just said, that's a pretty fast start. Haha. So it looks like the opponents maybe got a Chord draw. So we're definitely going to lead in on Visionary here. We're going to keep the Gilt-Leaf Palace open in case we draw into a Shaman of the Pack. Just got the Forest, so not a whole lot to do here. Might as well almost just run out the Heritage Druid. I don't know if there's a whole lot of value in... he can't even block anything effectively. He could Chord. May want to keep one Elvish Archdruid back. If he hits Kitchen Finks, well, let's think about this. If he hits Kitchen Finks, and blocks these two guys here, we're still swinging in for 7, 11, 20. Nah. We're just going to send them all. And if he doesn't have the combo here, oh no, I guess we would only have 2017. We're swinging with everybody. We're opening the door a little bit here, but we're going to do enough damage in combat even if he hits Kitchen Finks off like a Collected Company. I like that Collected Company art. Updated the art file to show this art from Lord of the Rings. So he hits one in the Tireless Tracker, so we're going to lose both the Archdruids if he decides to block. But it does keep him off the combo, which we are okay with. We're still in a strong position. He's actually going to chump the Dwynen's Elite. Okay. And he's going to save the Kitchen Finks. That puts 9, 11, 12, 13, 15. 6, 10, 16. That puts him down to 1 life. Really would like a Shaman here. We're in real trouble if he has the other piece of the combo in hand. And we will not run out the Heritage Druid just to try and bluff a teeny bit. Not that it really is going to do a whole lot. It basically comes down to whether or not the opponent has it. He's got a Melira, so that's actually game. 3, 4. So he's going to sacrifice the Kitchen Finks, comes back. Kitchen Finks will not get a counter because of Melira, and so he can just loop this for infinite life. So we'll just let him do it like 2 more times. And he can actually scry into his combo. But we can't do infinite damage. We can do a ton of damage, but not infinite damage. So we'll just go ahead and concede here. Just want to make sure he's showing that he's got it. Go to sideboard. Oh, you know what? I lost 0-1 there, not the other way around. Alright, so we're going to want to bring in some spot removal because the combo can be problematic. We don't actually need Lead the Stampede in this matchup. We want to dismember. possibly want Maelstrom Pulse. Let's see here. His combo, Kitchen Finks, Melira, Anafenza. Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot more we want here. So we're going to definitely pull the lead the Stampedes. We definitely want to overrun. We want the Drain. I don't really anticipate him bringing in a whole lot of like most of his creatures we can just fight through fine. I'm actually okay pulling a fetch land here. We run 19 lands, but we can effectively run 18. I definitely want to keep the one of Chord in the deck. And I think I'm good with those changes. Just don't want to deflate too many non-creature spells. So we've got, what, 9 plus the 5 removal. Yeah, like 10. Or as it shows right here. Non-creature spells. So we'll be on the play here. We're gonna be on the play. Can't keep a hand with no mana. We will keep this. We're not gonna throw this one back. It's a good explosive hand. Our opponent's mulligan down as well. Pendelhaven's not the the best land, but it's pretty good with a couple creatures here. All his removal is going to be Abrupt Decay, etc. Definitely want that Blooming Marsh. Oh, I can't wait for the new Nisa, by the way. Steward. Going to be pretty good. I actually normally would want to lead with Mystic, but knowing that we have a Blooming Marsh on top and the ability to go right into Heritage Druid next turn, we're going to actually just go ahead and lead with Nettle Sentinel and get an extra turn of beats on. So the question is the opponent holding up Fatal Push? I would say it doesn't look like it, but there's a possibility he's holding it to get the Elvish Archdruid if he is. Nope. So I got a good quick start here. Shaman of the Pack's gonna do a good little drain on top of the attack we're gonna get here. I'm assuming we're gonna see like a Anafenza based on the fetching that he's going with. Tide Hello? Ooh, that's a good one. So I think if we draw a removal spell here, it's not even really going to do a whole lot for us. I mean, I suppose we could wait till end step, but well, that's pretty good. So Archdruid, we could tap these 3, that gets us Azuri, and then we can attack and overrun. So that is what we're going to do here. It's going to be a pretty quick game unless he has some amazing card here. excuse me. So Fiend Hunter, even if he takes the, I mean, it doesn't really matter what he takes, we're still getting the damage in around him. I guess so. He's actually playing to the out that the Nettle Sentinel may not untap here, and if he does not untap, then I don't technically have lethal. But most of our deck is non-land spells. So on the positive, so we're actually a little, let's think this through. 0 bad draws this turn. We can Pendlehaven on the Mystic or the Heritage Druid and go to combat, but if he blocks with the Fiend Hunter or the Tide Hollow Sculler, well, sorry, he won't block with the Tide Hollow Sculler. He can't block with the Fiend Hunter, or he can chump block with the Fiend Hunter, not even chump back. They're just going to bounce, basically. We're going to have a 2-3 running into a 1-3, so we're definitely not getting any damage in. So I think here we're actually just going to... So the problem is if we can't even tap these to do any sort of overrun, right? We're at 4 mana, so we're actually going to play the Blooming Marsh out, and that way if we draw another land next turn, we can just overrun with that. I can't effectively attack here. I mean, I suppose I could send the Heritage Druid and hope he double blocks, and if he does, then I get the Tide Hollow Sculler back. There's no reason for me to not do that, at least. If he double blocks, we can take out the Tide Hollow Sculler, and then we can kill him post-combat with the Mystic and the 2 Blooming Marshes. But he's just going to chump with the Fiend Hunter. And then they'll just bounce. It's the best we can do. It's better than nothing. We still have the ability to use Azuri to regenerate any of our non-Azuri creatures. So he's going to E-Witness here, go get himself a land. And now any untapped land gives us lethal this next turn. So if we tap these 3 for 3 mana, and then use that to cast Azuri, we now have 3 creatures up. Now we have 2 creatures up, and only 3 mana, so we can't... We only have 2 creatures, Nettle Sentinel and Azuri. Wow. Wow, talk about just some really, really poor draws. We can't even attack. I mean, I suppose we could cast the Azuri. Let's see if we tap for... That gets us our Nettle Sentinel upright. I don't even think that's worth it, though. My opponent told me he thinks I had 0 bad draws this turn for last turn, and now I've had literally 2 bad draws in a row. We're in another situation here where, let's see, if he double blocks and we lose the Heritage Druid, that is actually problematic. I suppose we actually have the ability... Yeah, they're just going to bounce again. There's no point in actually even attacking this time. Hey, that's a decent draw. So this at least untaps our Nettle Sentinel, and potentially gives us the ability to Azuri Overrun depending on what we hit. Highly unlikely, but he sees my Coco and response Cocos. It's one of his 3 pieces of combo. And Shaman of the Pack is actually just going to end the game right here, so that's beautiful. Alright, so we get the win here, despite a couple bad draws, but it happens to all of us. On to game 3. So we're on the draw this time. Didn't see anything to think our opponent was going to be more removal based. Definitely looks like he brought in some interaction in the Tide Hollow Scullers. It's possible then that we might want Lead the Stampede, but we're still having to deal primarily with his combo, which is why we brought in the interaction. I don't feel like there's a whole lot here we really want to do. You know, we could bring in the Fulminator Mages to try and attack his mana base, but it's not really how we beat them. We beat them by going faster and keeping, keeping the interaction, keeping their combo pieces off the battlefield with interaction. So this is actually okay. We really need to draw another land, but our opponent has Mulligan. That makes me really want to keep this. We have the interaction for combo piece. We do have access to a little extra mana with the Mystic. He's probably not very heavy on creature removal. I actually like this. We draw a land or a Heritage Druid, and we're kind of off to the races. So the opponent does keep his 6-card hand. Gonna run out of Dork. We might just spend the first turn killing that. Man. No. It's not a, it's, you know, he could have a land light hand, but really what we got to do is save our interaction for his combo pieces. This allows us to jam 2 Nettle Sentinels or a Nettle Sentinel and hold up Dismember next turn, even if we don't draw a land. So here comes Malira, or Anafenza, not Malira. But Anafenza will definitely be going bye-bye. Looks like maybe he also has... Okay, just a birds. Just a 1/2 birds. Overpowered. And there's just really no reason to wait here. He has so few cards in hand. If he skips, I'm going to be real wary of a collected company on his part. Looks like he had the Melira. So we're just going to pop in here with the Nettle Sentinel. Get as much power on the board as we can. Hope he doesn't have a phenomenal chord here, or collected company. That's decent. We're just going to serve in here with everything except for the Mystic. And the fact that he is trading the Melira is pretty good for us. No, he's not trading. He has so much mana that we don't even look at. And then I think we're actually... as much as I want to run out that Llanowar Elves, yeah, we actually have to run the Llanowar Elves out because we need access to the extra mana to either cast Shaman or Elvish Archdruid, because his creatures are getting big enough that they can block now. So we need to have the Elvish Archdruid to make it so his creatures can't effectively block. So ideally we're going to go Elvish Archdruid, attack with both Nettle Sentinels. So then he spends his turn blocking with Melira, pumping Melira. But then hopefully Shaman will be able to close it out the next turn. Be a little more careful with that Gavany there. We could triple block the Melira. He's going to go up to a 4/4, plus he can Gavany up to a 5/5. We would lose our board, but that would buy us quite a bit of time. But I think we're just going to let it go. Hopefully he will use the Gavany. I'm thinking he plans to use Gavany during blocks, unless he has a collected company, which is big game. Saraseer, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Okay, Eternal Witness is fine. He's going to have to chump block a bit, I think, this turn. I mean, we really don't have any choice. We have not drawn another land. We have to Elvish Archdruid so that he can't chump with the birds, but I mean, we know one of his two cards. He needs a Kitchen Finks, so if he has a or a Quarter Calling, that's game. If he has Murderous Redcap, suppose that's game. If he has Collected Company, that's possibly game, and or he could draw into Kitchen Finks, so he has quite a few outs. We did not draw into the Heritage Druid, so we can't do any shenanigans with Nettle Sentinel. Really puts us down to which of these plays is better. We could Shaman for 5, putting him to 4, but we can only attack for 4, and he can chump block one of them. Which makes me feel like we need to play the Elvish Archdruid. We just have to here. This basically allows us to attack with the Nettle Sentinels. Although, are we dead on the crackback? So he'd have to use the bird and the noble. So say he even draws a land. He could do 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we could chump block with Azuri and then still win with a Shaman of the Pack. So we are in our best position here to attack with both Nettle Sentinels. We may have to chump the Elvish Archdruid for crackbacks. But that should allow us to win with a Shaman of the Pack. So he had a path, so he actually doesn't have the combo. If we draw a land next turn, we're dead now, right? The path just beat us. Yeah, we're dead here. Even without that, we're dead. He activates Gavany. Yep. Attacks with everything. That's game. Oh, that's a bummer. If we had drawn a land during any of those turns, we would have really, really won. For lack of a better way to say it. So that's a bit of a bummer. That's the thing that happens with Elves sometimes. So why sometimes I go in hot and cold streaks with playing this deck. Sometimes it just feels like there's not a ton of play to it. Heritage Druid would have been great earlier too. Alright, well, we'll be back with second match soon.